In this video, we're going to discuss strategies in order to get better quality and quantity of sleep. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing is to make sure that the environment is right for your sleeping. So you want a cool, dark, and quiet environment. So you want the environment to be cool. So you can make it as cool as possible for you, as tolerable for you in your sleep environment. You can do this by sleeping with less covers on, sleeping with less clothes, turning the thermostat down. It all depends on what you can tolerate and what's going to be best for you in your environment. The next thing you want to think about is the darkness aspect of it. So if you can have blackout curtains, that would probably be the best option there. And then also if there is light coming in, maybe you're wearing a sleep mask in order to keep that light out of your eyes. But there is also like scientific evidence that our body, not only our eyes, but our skin responds to light. So you want to try and reduce the amount of light that's exposed on your skin as well to help with the quality of sleep or the quality of sleep that you're getting. So one thing to also remember is the noise in the environment. So what you can do to eliminate the sounds is try to cover up the bottoms of your doors. You can wear earplugs, etc., etc. There's plenty of options that you can do, but I know some people like to sleep with white noise, but you can think about trying to put a timer on that. So you don't want that noise going through the entire night while you're sleeping. You may want to just time it for about 10 minutes to allow you to fall asleep. So that way, while you're sleeping, it's off now. I tend to do that when I'm trying to fall asleep. I put music on and I'll allow it to play only for a certain amount of time. So that way I can relax and I can fall asleep with that music playing. But by the time I'm asleep, it's off. So those are the things that you want to think about when it comes to your environment. You want to think about the noise, you want to think about the temperature, and you want to think about it being as dark as possible. So the next thing that we're going to get into is screens and light. So light of any kind suppresses the release of melatonin, which is a hormone that allows us to feel drowsy whenever we're preparing to go to sleep. So over time, like as light exposure decreases, the melatonin in our body starts to increase. Now, since we have lights in our houses, since we have lights from our screens, that release of melatonin is suppressed. So it's suppressed by any light, but it's even more suppressed by blue light. Now, what can we do about this? Typically, the golden rule is to do about 2 to 3 hours, no screens. I understand that sounds crazy. I feel the same way at times. But what you can do instead of trying to, just go cold turkey and go 2 to 3 hours, you can think about doing maybe about 30 minutes or so before bed, no screens. And if that's good enough for you, if you feel like you have a better quality and quantity of sleep based off 30 minutes, then just stick with 30 minutes. You don't have to go any further than that. But if you want to try and work your way up to optimal ranges, then you may do 30 minutes for 2 weeks or a month. And then the next month you may try and add 15 minutes to another 30 minutes onto that and slowly work your way up to what is good for your lifestyle and what you feel comfortable with doing. And that's going to allow you to get the best quality and quantity of sleep. Other strategies other than doing no screens, let's just say you can't do no screens, you can think about wearing blue light glasses. So blue light glasses are another good option for those who, for some apparent reason, maybe it's work related, you can't reduce the activity on screens from laptops to tablets to your TV screen to your phone screen. So blue light glasses may be the option for you. You could also think about dimming the light source or put an app onto your laptop or whatever screen you're viewing that allows it to block the emission of those blue lights. So there's plenty of options that you can try out and see what affects you the most. And once again, think about those intuitive measures that will allow you to know that you got better quality sleep. So when you wake up, you feel more rested, or you have more energy, or you're more alert, or you don't need caffeine, etc., etc. So think about the intuitive measures that allow you to feel like you have more quality sleep in order to determine whether or not these things are actually helping you or not. All right, the next strategy that we're getting into is going to be journaling. Now, this doesn't mean like you're pouring your heart out and you're writing a journal entry, dear diary, etc., etc. What you want to think about is if you're a person that's very anxious, you got a lot on your mind throughout the day, but then also while you're trying to go to sleep, you can think about getting a journal and writing down your thoughts. Everything that's going on in your head, free flow it and write it out on paper in your journal. Now, this doesn't mean you spend 1 hour to 2 hours doing this, because that time you should be asleep. Maybe you spend 15 minutes or 10 minutes writing down whatever's in your head. Give yourself a timer so that way you don't go into your sleep time. This can allow you to feel less stressed while you're going to sleep because you're thinking about all these different things. You already got it out on paper. Now, you don't have to do anything with this paper. You can just throw the paper away. You can save it for another day and analyze it. Whatever you feel is necessary for you, continue to do that. But the journaling allows you to get these things out of your head, so that way when you're going to sleep, you're clear and you're ready to get a good quality amount of sleep. Now, the other thing that you can think about is writing down your schedule as well. So if you have a very busy schedule or you got a lot of different tasks that you need to get to, sometimes that can overwhelm you while you're trying to go to sleep. So you can write it out and you can plan it out, and you might be better served doing this at the beginning of your week, but let's just say things pop up and you have to write them down day by day. So you just write it down during that day, so that way you don't have it on your brain, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. If you have it in your calendar, you know it's gonna get done because it's in your calendar. So that's that little extra tip when it comes to writing things down that are in your head and that allows you or doesn't allow you to get good quality sleep because you're thinking about all these different things. So the next thing you want to think about is your eating. So you want your last meal to be about 2 to 3 hours before you decide to lay down. And this can vary from person to person. That's why it's a range, 2 to 3 hours. And it also depends on how large the meal is, how good your digestive system is, how stressed you've been throughout that day. So it will vary from person to person, but just know yourself and just start to fill it out. So 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, you want your last meal to have happened. So that way it's not only good for your quality and quantity of sleep, but it's also very good for your digestive system. So that way you don't have reflux and everything else happening while you're laying down, and it allows your body to process that food better, so that way you can get better quality and quantity of sleep. And finally, you can think about doing something that's relaxing. So a relaxing routine such as meditating, light stretching, or soft tissue work, family time, or even reading. So family time can be just having a lighthearted conversation with a family member. But something that's non-stimulating, so you're not reading some murder mystery novel or anything like that, but you're reading something that's a little bit more on the lighter side, or you're not reading the textbook, I'll put it that way. Maybe a murder mystery is relaxing to you, but I think a textbook that you're studying for a final exam may not be as relaxing to you as some type of novel. But yeah, think about something that's more or less relaxing, and that's going to get you into the mood for bedtime. So once again, some type of relaxing routine, you just add that in and just see if that helps with your quality and quantity of sleep. So those are my strategies on how to get better quality and quantity of sleep. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get right back to you, and I'll see you in the next video.